has a lot of insights and experience to share with all of you. So let us put our hands together and welcome Miss Nisa. Big round of applause, everyone. Miss Nisa, coming on stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes. Thank you very much for being here. As what Linda has already mentioned, this is one industry that is lacking manpower, and we need lots and lots of people in this industry. So it's great to have many people who are interested, and hopefully all four speakers who come up on this stage can motivate you enough to come into our industry. So my topic for today is on the employability in the hospitality and tourism industry. So I'm sure many of you are pretty keen to know how could you be more employable to enter this particular industry, and what can you do to get into this industry? What skills, what competencies, what attitudes you need to have, and what is available in this industry for you. Now, before I take you on into this understanding of what this industry is all about, one of the most important things about employability skill in this industry is to be happy. So, do you have happy people here? I just share with you before I begin, one of the iconic tourism organizations in our industry is Disney, right? And Disney is the epitome of what service is all about, and I think Gunjin, the first speaker, was talking about Disney. And when Disney actually interviews people, and their service mission for Disney is to be happy, right? Very simply put, that's what their service mission statement is. And in their interview, let's say somebody wants to be a sweeper in Disney, and he goes for an interview, and the first thing that the HR person asks this person is, okay, you want to be a sweeper, all right, can you sweep happily? You know, can you show me how you sweep happily? So when this person is going to demonstrate an eagerness to enter Disney, you've got to show that you are happy and you know how to sweep happily. So if you want to make popcorn, they'll tell you, do you know how to make happy popcorn? Right? And you've got to show that you know how to make happy popcorn. So if you want to enter my industry, which is tourism and hospitality, first of all, you've got to be really happy people. So are you happy people? Okay. So let me take you through what exactly my topic is going to be a little bit about. Is first of all, I'm going to share with you about the opportunities that are available in my industry. So what kind of jobs can you find if you want to be in this industry? I'm taking you through because as a lecturer myself and as a tourism practitioner, I still am a tourism practitioner. I'll take you through what I'm doing at the moment, and I'm a consultant as well. Now, based on my experiences, the questions that I get on a daily basis is something that I'm trying to address over here. So hopefully that questions that I hear is your questions, and I can try and answer some of the questions that you have in your mind. Right, so just a little bit about my profile, but don't concentrate so much on my profile. I just want to share with you where I started. Some of you could be where I started as well, and where I have landed at the moment. My first degree was never in tourism, right? It was basically in social work and psychology. It doesn't matter what it was, but after a while, about 2 years in industry, I felt that it was not really what I want to do, and then I started to look at what would be my next career. And some of you could be in that situation. You're thinking about what's your second career. And I have actually trained a lot of people who have been in one career, and then I have trained military men, and then they want to be in tourism as their second career. I've trained teachers, and they want to be in the tourism industry as well. So a lot of people want to enter the industry, and they said, is that right for me? So is that right for you? That is a journey that I went through. I started thinking about after I left the industry, which was in social work and counseling. I asked myself this question: what is the next industry that is booming in Singapore? So you need to do a little bit of homework, right? What is the trend? You know, what is the industry that is picking up in Singapore if you want to be here? But it's also good to know what is the industry that is booming worldwide. You know, in the whole world, what is going on? So do a little bit of intelligent homework on what is going on. So I share with you a little bit on what is this industry, what potential it has for you. So I took on a little bit of a research on what is this industry, what is happening, what kind of jobs is available, how big it is in terms of availability, in terms of job availability. So when I did the homework, then I realized that I think this is one industry, first of all, I have a passion for, and before Bobby can ask me what made you come into this industry, I tell you I love travel. Alright, so then I realized that this should not be the only motivation, and I'll tell you why later. I mean, you love to travel, but at the end of the day, you are planning travel for other people, right? You're making their travel experiences wonderful. So it's not about you, it's about other people, but you need to have passion for travel. Right? So when I had the passion, when I did a little bit of well, I realized that there was a good match. But my education qualification was not in this industry. So what I do is that I search for where can I pursue my education, right? Then I did a little bit of homework. Which would be a good place? Where can I pursue a tourism and hospitality? Now, I can't go into the next level of a degree. Although I was a degree holder, I said, no, I have to start somewhere below, right? So I went on to doing a diploma, right, in tourism and hospitality. And like what the first speaker was telling you, it's not a job that pays you very well, right? But you have to have the mental mindset to understand that first before you enter. So although there was a compromise in salary scale, there was a compromise in my designation, it didn't quite matter because I felt that I had a passion that I could connect with this industry. Very important when you begin in this industry, you must feel that connection, you must feel the passion. So I went into this industry and I got, then I was thinking, okay, this industry is really big. So what do I really want to do? Is it tourism? Is it hospitality? Then I did a little bit of checking to see whether I belong to more tourism. So a little bit into your insight about your personality is important. There are certain things about hospitality where I felt that maybe not me, but I can do very well in tourism. But again, tourism is such a big industry. Where do I want to be? Do I want to be in a tourism board? Do I want to be in attractions? Do I want to be in the travel agencies? What do I want to do? So then again, I thought quite clearly about what exactly I want to do. And again, travel planning was actually booming in Singapore. Right? So I said, okay, I will go into travel planning, which is a travel agency. Now, when I went into a travel agency, I asked myself the next question, what do I really want to do in a travel agency? Do I want to do frontline, where I want to do booking? Do I want to do HR? Do I want to do training and development? What do I really want to do? Then I kind of knew my personality and what was my interest. I want to do marketing and sales because that was more me. Right? So I went into sales and marketing. But of course, it was a big challenge where my boss asked me, what makes you think you can survive in this industry? Can you really do marketing? So I told him, just give me 6 months, I'll prove to you. Right? You have to have the guts, you have to have the confidence, and then you go in and you see whether you can prove for yourself first. This is the industry that you want to belong, and then I moved on into this industry. Now, I was in marketing and sales for a while, and I love this job because, as I was just sharing with Bob, it's not an industry that you will quit really fast. It's wonderful, it's fun, it's exciting, especially when I was doing marketing and sales. Then after about 10 years down the road, and I realized that, okay, I've reached my plateau. I've done my networking, I've known this industry really, really well. While in this 10 years, I didn't do just travel booking, I went into events, I put my hands and my feet into everything and anything you can name it in the tourism industry. Wherever there was an opportunity available, I went on to doing events. So I helped out the other departments. It doesn't matter if it's not a 9 to 5, events take me into 10, sometimes midnight, sometimes way beyond midnight, but I wanted to learn it, so I did events as well. I helped my colleagues to go into hotel booking, so I got familiar with the hospitality industry. So I did cruises, so another department that was actually doing cruises, and they needed help every now and then. I said, well, I'm here, just use me. So I went on to doing arrival for cruises, I did the planning of cruises. So after 10 years, I kind of more or less knew what this whole industry was all about because I had my hands and my feet into almost everything. It was not part of my job, I never got paid for it, but then the experience was very, very important. So if you are one of those who really want experience, and I would say put your hands into your feet, into anything and everything you can while you have the opportunity. And after 10 years, I realized that I've reached my plateau, and I said, what do I do next? And then I realized that it was time to give back. So I went on to, there was an urge for me to teach. And I thought, what would be the best route for me to go and teach is to go and do my master's. And then I went on to doing master's, and I said, where do I do it? And I think we've got wonderful universities here. So I went on to doing at one of the universities in Singapore. And after I finished my master's, I went on to teaching. And I started to teach the tourism industry, and that's when I have a couple of my students here as well. So I started to teach the degree, and then as experience moved on, I started to teach my master's. And then I went on into thinking about, okay, I'm happy teaching, but what else do I do? And this is where I share this with you because when you stretch your limits, you know, when you stretch and you ask yourself, what more can you do? And then the doors will start to open to you, right? So I started to think about what more can I do? And then corporate training opened up because a real, sometimes, you know, a crisis becomes your opportunity. The crisis came in the form of SARS. When our industry had really, really, really poor occupancy, people were jobless, people didn't have much to do, and it opened up a major field of training. Our government was very, very generous and they said, okay, let's train Singaporeans, let's train taxi drivers, let's train people to upgrade themselves. And up to now, the training is happening. Lots of money is given by our generous government. Please go and seize it. And that became my opportunity, though it was a crisis in Singapore. Two crises that lifted me up in terms of training was, of course, 911, and then SARS. SARS gave me the way. So I started to go into corporate training. So I started to train the industry on what I have practiced over here, and on service especially. It was a wonderful opportunity that we actually raised the bar of Singaporeans, and we upgraded the skills of Singaporeans. So it was wonderful. A good another 10 years happened for me in training, because that led my way into training. But my experience became bigger, I would say, and I realized, okay, I should not contain myself only in Singapore. I want to move outside the country. So I started to give consultancy work to countries outside Singapore, but my heart has always been for developing countries and not the developed countries. So I started to go in and provide consultancy for tourism boards in two countries at the moment, Bhutan, which is a lovely, lovely country, but they don't have very much tourism happening there, and another country that just came out of the war, Sri Lanka. So I'm actually helping two countries in the tourism board in how to arrive to where Singapore is at the moment. Not so much Singapore is, but at least to strive to our standards. And I also try to help boutique hotels in terms of their development of branding, and also tour operations to think out of the box. That today we are not into mass travel, we are into very niche travel. So I'm also there helping them. But I've also reached a point where I said, okay, I am teaching, I'm training, and so forth. Now what more for myself? You know, I want to do something for myself. So the next thing that I want to do for myself is on my PhD journey. So I've taken on for the last 2 years, and I do balance. Now, so a lot of people ask me, this is one industry that is so busy, you know, how do you manage your time, you know, but it's up to you, you know, time management, you just have to learn how to balance. So this is where I am at the moment, and doing all these things concurrently. So I bring my experience to you, and if anyone has any questions in the area that I'm doing, you can always ask me, and I'm happy to talk to you about it. So this is a little bit about what awards I've got, it doesn't matter. So let's move on to some questions that I've always heard people, like I said, there are two groups of people that I train, and I do see a little bit of a market segment, something like that. One is students, and students, when they take on my courses, they always ask me questions like this, you know, now I'm graduating, or I finished my diploma, what's my next step, you know? What jobs do I get into? And the next question they ask me is that, is tourism for me? Can you tell? Can you look at me and tell me whether tourism is for me? And if tourism is for me, can you tell me what kind of, you know, hospitality? Do I go to a hotel? Do I go into events? What sort of jobs do I get into? Then I also get another group of people who are second career, people from other jobs, what we call professional conversion, and they are interested. So like I said to you, some people are teachers, you know, and then they said, no, I had enough of teaching. I want to get into tourism. So can I be an educational officer in a tourism industry, like the zoo maybe, right? Teachers. So I've heard people who are military officers, for example, policemen, and then at 50 years old, 52 years old, they said, I want to enter the tourism industry. What do you think I could do? Do you think I could go into, you know, to Resorts World and do surveillance, you know, of the casino? Right, because I'm policeman, you know, can I do that? So there are many people who are looking at second career. So yes, I have spoken to lots of people, and they have been very excited about second career. And I know of many people who have taken tourism and hospitality as a second career, and they have just found the love of the job that they love very much. Right? So is it right for me? What about the entry requirements, salary? I think we touched a little bit of that. I'm not sure if I have time for this one, but the other two, yes, I will touch a bit on that one. Okay, tourism and hospitality industry, the reason, very fact that most of you are here, you already know that this is a booming industry, right? Am I right to say? You already know. It is booming so big, not only in Singapore, but globally. I mean, as I travel, as I work with countries abroad, I know it's booming. The problem that they have in many countries is that they're short-staffed. Not only here, all right? I can tell you about one of the poorest countries, Bhutan. Even there, they don't have enough people. I'm talking about Sri Lanka, coming out of the war. You would think that people want jobs. No, they don't have enough people down there as well. Australia, plagued with the problem of manpower. So it's not only Singapore that we are facing the problem, but it is all over the world. So if you're looking at opportunity, Dubai means booming with huge mega infrastructure with respect to tourism, and they just don't have enough people in this country. So whether it's the Emirates, whether it's down under the Pacific, the islands like Maldives, where the first speaker was from, you know,